Hello everyone, today we are breaking down Season 3, Episode 1, Mother of Monster, the Ed Gein Story. But before that, remember to like the video, it helps out the channel a lot, and subscribe, and yada yada yada, let's get to it. The first thing we see is Ed Gein doing chores around his family's farm. He lives there with his brother and his mother. His father died some years ago. We then see him walking across a field to his neighbors. He just enters their house and starts spying on a young lady and her friend changing. The young lady is named Adeline. She will be a reoccurring character throughout the show. She and Ed are actually friends and kind of have a relationship. Now this is kind of made up for the show. Adeline was a real person, and after Ed was arrested for his crimes, she did an interview with a newspaper claiming they had a 20-year relationship and that Ed was sweet and kind, and they even talked about getting married. But she quickly retracted that story, saying it was basically all made up. Ed Gein never once mentioned Adeline while being interrogated or when speaking to psychiatrists. So it's hard to know even if they were friends or not. Monster has a tendency to run with rumors and speculation if they think it will add to the show's drama. They did this with the Eric and Lyle Menendez story, suggesting the two had an incestuous relationship where there was no evidence of that actually happening. This is basically the same thing, so it's not historically accurate, but there might be a slight hint of truth to it. Anyways, the girls hear something and they go to check it out. Ed is long gone. Ed returns to his house where he puts on his mother's underwear and he relieves himself while also choking himself with a belt. I don't want to kink shame, but some people would consider this not normal behavior. And this behavior is mainly due to his upbringing and his mother, which we will kind of get the sense of as the show goes on. His mother, Augusta, catches him in the act. She makes him go downstairs completely nude and reads a Bible verse to him. Augusta was a deeply religious woman, like crazy religious. She thought she was better than everyone, that everyone was a sinner. She even thought this about the people at the church in town, that nobody was as pious as her. And she ingrained these beliefs in her kids, and Ed especially took to them. After the Bible verse, she tells Ed that only a mother could love him. She then tells him that he should never marry a woman and never be with a woman, that they are sin. And these sentiments have been told to Ed his whole life, that only his mother can love him and that all women are sinful, and everyone other than Augusta is bad. It's no wonder why he's messed up. We are now at the local malt shop in town with Ed. He's waiting for someone. He sees two girls there and he just stares at them. They kind of get freaked out and leave. The owner says he just can't do that. Ed said he didn't mean anything by it, he was just trying to be friendly. So Ed, when growing up, had a hard time. People made fun of his droopy eye, and he had a bit of a speech impediment. His mother also didn't want him making any friends because in her eyes they were sinners, and she didn't want them to corrupt Ed. He was only at school till the 8th grade as well, then dropped out and helped at the farm. So he never really acquired those social skills you get from being in school and whatnot. Adeline shows up, it seems that he was waiting for her. They get a booth together. Adeline has something to show him. Ed opens the box and it has a bunch of pictures of concentration camps and the horrific things that were happening at them. Ed is fascinated by the pictures, but he's especially fascinated by the comic book called The Bitch of Buchenwald. I'm probably not pronouncing that last part right. Which is a real person and depicts some of her cruelty she did to the Jewish people at those camps. She was legit a very bad and sadistic person. Some of the things in this comic book would influence what Ed will be getting up to later in the series. We're back on the farm with Ed doing some chores where his brother Henry meets him. Henry tells him how he's going to get married and how he's basically done with their mother. He starts talking a lot of crap about her, and Ed does not appreciate that. He is clearly upset about it. Ed smacks Henry in the back of the head with a wood log, killing his brother. The way Ed acted after it happened seemed like he didn't mean to do it, like it was a joke kind of thing. Granted, he did hit him super hard. Ed sees the blood pooling and leaves the barn. He turns around to look back at the barn and sees his brother just stand up. And Henry says exactly what Ed wants to hear, that he will fix things with their mother and everything is good. So after Ed was arrested, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia, so he would have hallucinations and whatnot. This is the first hint we get at that. This also could be a way for him to cope with what he just did. We're now at the dinner table with Augusta and Ed. They are eating. We get some more backstory. Augusta talks about how she wanted a girl, that she prayed and prayed for one, but instead she got Ed. She was disappointed, but she vowed that Ed would not grow up like Henry. He would be more girlish, I guess. He would be raised more like a girl, which could explain some of the behaviors we have seen so far. It is the next day, and Ed goes back out to the barn and finds his brother dead. So he realizes that what he did was real. He said he thought he was dreaming, but nevertheless, Ed drags the body out in the field. He starts burning some brush, as that was the plan for today. He then runs to his mother saying he doesn't know what happened to Henry, and that the fire got out of control. She goes to get the police. They find Henry's body rather quickly. While they are examining the body at the morgue, they question Ed's story a bit, because the body was stiff, like it's been dead for a while now. Ed just simply says it's starting to get cold out. The coroner says that Henry could have suffocated from the smoke, which could have caused his heart to stop. So now a lot of work went into looking into how Henry died, as you can see. Ed returns home and sees his mother crying on the table. We see that something is wrong, that she has had a stroke. Now the show makes it seem like it occurred right after Henry's death, but in reality it was about a year after. With his mother having a stroke, Ed would now have to be her caregiver. He would have to take care of her, from cooking, cleaning, washing her, that sort of thing. And Ed kind of loved this. He didn't have to share his mother anymore, and it was just him and her. He got to spend a lot of quality time with her now. We are now in Germany with the bitch of Buchenwald. She was cleaning a body for some reason. It was a Jewish person, so maybe doing some kind of weird experiments. Anyways, we get to see some of her family life, like she has her kids shaving the hair of prisoners. Her husband was a high-ranking officer in the German army, and it seems they lived a life of luxury. I don't really understand why we're getting this scene. As I said, Ed was inspired by the comics with some of the things he does later on. Maybe they just wanted to show her doing it first for some reason, but I think the comic book stuff was sufficient enough for that. We're back with Ed and his mother. Augusta is doing much better now. She is walking on her own, just needing a cane. They're going to get rent money from someone who's planting on their land. They drive to his house, where there is a big commotion. The man wants to kill a puppy, and the lady there is crying and begging him not to. Augusta is upset, not about the puppy, but about the woman. The two are not married, and they're clearly banging. She starts screaming and calling the lady a harlot. Augusta is so upset that it causes another stroke, but this time, she dies from it. Ed returns home after the funeral and sits in his mother's chair. He hears her voice telling him to get off of it. He stands up looking around for her. So as I said earlier, Ed has schizophrenia, and after his mother's death, I think it really amplifies it. He's always been a loner, but now that his one person is gone, he's even going to be lonelier, which can cause people to do some crazy things. We see Ed wearing his mother's clothes again, and once again he is relieving himself when he hears his mother's voice to stop it. She then says that you know you can bring me back, right? Ed misses her a lot, so he asks how. Ed drives out to the cemetery to dig her body up, but he can't. Her grave was encased in concrete. His mother tells him to dig up the lady next to her, that it's close enough. Ed tended to dig up women who resembled his mother. He grabs the body and brings it back to his house. He puts her in his mother's chair and starts undressing her. He has a creepy little smile as he does it. I truly hated this part so much. It made me very uncomfortable. And I'm quite certain there's going to be much more disturbing things in the rest of the show. And that is it for the episode. What did you think of it? Leave it down in the comments below. And if you want more monster content, please subscribe and like the video. Check out the Twitter link in the description below. And as always, have an awesome day.